Thank you for tuning in to the Inside the Dam podcast. KMSU is proud to partner with Minot State University Athletics and bring an inside look to student athletes and coaches on campus. Inside the Dam is brought to you by Papa John's. Don't forget to check out their MSU special. You can get a large 2-topping pizza for $7.99 if you show a valid MSU ID. We thank Admir and the Papa John's crew for sponsoring the Inside the Dam podcast. We will be right back with our next guest.
Hello and welcome back to Inside the Dam podcast, brought to you by Papa John's. I'm Logan Dean, and welcome back to another great show tonight. We're glad to continue a great partnership with MSU Athletics. With us, we have 3 awesome students from the track and field team on the show today. And with me today, I have Leif Nelson, a junior thrower from Devils Lake, North Dakota. He's a 2022 NCAA All-American in javelin. Leif, thanks for coming on the show today.
Thank you.
So I'll just get right into it. What was your main reason here for coming to Minot State for track and field?
Well, I played my first year of college sports. I played basketball at Lake Region State. And after some injuries, I decided to transfer to Minot State to do track because basketball was no longer an option for me with the injuries. So I called up the coach that was recruiting me from high school, and they said they'd still give me a scholarship to come here, so that's why I'm here.
So did you play? So did your injuries happen at Lake Region, or did they just happen all through like high school and like into Lake Region as well?
Yeah, it happened my junior year in high school, and
it just continued to happen.
Yeah, continued to happen, and it didn't get any better, so I decided to be done.
That I feel that, man. I go through. Well, back when I played like basketball in like high school, I went through a lot, like not a lot of injuries, but some minor injuries. But I know what like people go through, for sure. So I know so I feel your pain. So how do you manage your time between school, practice, and track meets?
During the season, I like to take online classes. That way I can do them on the road. I don't have to be in class, in person to do them. So I like to take online classes and get them done when I'm on the road.
That doesn't sound like a bad idea right there. So let's get into this. The track meet you guys were recently at, where you beat your personal record of throwing in javelin. So how were you feeling after you completed your 222 feet throw?
I put a lot of work in over the summer, just lifting and throwing all summer basically. So I knew it was going to come. I didn't think it would be this early, so I'm definitely blessed for that. But I was shocked when I heard the guy say that it was 67 meters. But I knew it was coming.
So speaking of you talking about practice, so how much time do you put in practice yourself for your throwing?
Oh man, so on my own, I do a lot of stuff, whether it's in my apartment or in the wellness or whatever. I like to always be doing something.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say just like over the summer, I didn't get a job this summer because I wanted to focus everything on track. And so, all I did this summer was lift, throw, and eat. And that's basically it. So I put a lot of time and work into it.
So it's more practice than what people think, for sure?
Yeah. A lot of stuff that people don't see.
So did you feel any nerves going into the Yellow Jackets / Battling Bears Open?
No, actually, this was the most confident I felt going into a meet. With the new coach that we have this year, he definitely helps with building my confidence and getting me ready for the meets because it's just the different training style. I feel ready to go to the meets this year. So.
Well, that's good for sure. Also, what were you feeling? What kind of I was just going through it. What was the feeling like when you finished third at the NSIC Indoor Championship that happened in February?
I came in ranked 6th at that meet. I don't really throw shot put too often. I practice it a couple times a week. So I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
At the year before, I was the first one out of finals, so I was just hoping to get into finals, and I ended up taking third. So I was pretty happy about that.
Well, that's good. Well, you said you got 6th at that one, or that's at 6th the year before.
I came in this year ranked 6th, and I ended up taking third. So.
Oh, okay, I get you.
Mm-hmm.
Also, what is your like day-to-day like campus life like outside of like practice and all that?
Yeah, so the only time I'm really on campus is for practice.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say when I have my free time, I just I like to relax, watch Netflix, do homework, or go to the wellness and lift or play basketball or something.
Do you have any favorite shows on Netflix?
Yeah, I just finished that new show that's out. The Office is my favorite show. Could watch it every day. So yeah.
Like rewatch it all the time?
Yep.
So, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years, like after you're done with college?
Well, I'm hoping this year to qualify for the USA meet, Olympic trials, meets like that. And then 2024 Olympics, that's a goal, but we'll see if that happens. If not, in the next Olympics 2028, that would be a goal to get there.
I think that's a strong goal to have, and the way it sounded, I definitely feel like you can make it for sure. So one last question. You kind of already touched on this a little bit. So other than like track, did you play any other sports in high school? Because I know you talked about basketball. Was there anything else besides that?
Yeah, freshman year, I ran cross country. Terrible decision. And then I played just about every other sport that I could. Growing up, I played soccer and baseball. I did track, basketball, but javelin wasn't my main event when I first started track. So it was mostly high jump.
So when did javelin come into your main thing?
Junior year, I threw for 2 meets just to get out of running in practice. And then senior year, I picked it up more and I started getting more serious about it.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
So did you want to go more towards track, or did you? So if you didn't have your injuries that you happened, would you continue? Would you have came here to play basketball, or would you just have known to just go straight to track?
Oh, I would have been playing basketball right now if I didn't have injuries.
So if it wasn't for the injuries, you would have been playing basketball, not worrying about track?
Yeah.
Well, I believe that's all the questions I have. Thank you, Leif, for being on the show with us today. That is all I have. I am Logan Dean, and thank you for Papa John's for sponsoring.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to the Inside the Dam podcast. KMSU is proud to partner with Minot State University Athletics and bring an inside look to student athletes and coaches on campus. Inside the Dam is brought to you by Papa John's. Don't forget to check out their MSU special. You can get a large 2-topping pizza for $7.99 if you show a valid MSU ID. We thank Admir and the Papa John's crew for sponsoring the Inside the Dam podcast. We will be right back with our next guest. Thank you for tuning in to the Inside the Dam podcast. KMSU is proud to partner with Minot State University Athletics and bring an inside look to student athletes and coaches on campus. Inside the Dam is brought to you by Papa John's. Don't forget to check out their MSU special. You can get a large 2-topping pizza for $7.99 if you show a valid MSU ID. We thank Admir and the Papa John's crew for sponsoring the Inside the Dam podcast. We will be right back with our next guest.
Hi, everyone. My name is Paul. I am your second host for today's Inside the Dam podcast. With me here today is Sidra Sadowsky. I'm going to be interviewing her. And just a little bit about Sidra, guys. North Dakota. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah.
Okay. She has been named, last month, she was named to the NSIC All Academic Team of Excellence. She has run a career best time of 4 minutes. She has 52.90 second in 1,500 meters. That's good. She was also third overall and 10th best in NSIC on Saturday at the Yellow Jacket Battling Bears Open, and this was hosted in Montana State Billings and Rocky Mountain College in Montana. Yeah, you see, you've done really well. I find it hard to read. Okay, that's a very good one. So hi Sidra, how are you doing today?
Oh, pretty good.
First of all, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to come here today. We really appreciate you. Just real quick, what made you go into track and field?
Well, I always really liked doing sports growing up, and our school had just introduced a new cross-country team.
Mhm.
So I tried that in the fall, and I liked it. And, track season kind of goes along with that, so I ended up doing that, and I really ended up liking both of them.
Wow, so from high school?
Yeah, I started in 7th grade.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What exactly do you play in track and field?
Well, I do mid-distance events.
Oh.
So anything from like the 400 meters to the 1,500. I have just recently picked up the 400-meter hurdles. So
Oh, okay.
doing some
How's that
fun
looking?
there. Pretty good. I'm excited to open up with it. I'll be opening up with it in about 3 weeks.
Oh, okay. And 400 meters, that's like 1 mile, right?
That's a quarter.
A quarter.
1/4 of a
1/4 of a mile. Okay. Okay, cool. So how do you feel about the Minor State track and field team?
I really like it here. That's definitely what brought me to the school when I was looking at schools to come to. I just really like the people I met on my visit, and I feel like we have a pretty fun team dynamic. We all get along and joke with each other and support each other when we go out there and race.
Yeah, that I feel like that's very important, when it comes to like athletes and their sports and their team, they need to have that cooperation and that kind of get together and togetherness. That's really nice. So if there's something you could improve about the Minor State track and field team, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a hard question. I'd say, living in Minot, definitely the weather.
Yeah.
Especially with that storm we're going to get next week. I'd love to be running outside, but sometimes that isn't always possible.
Do you guys have to, do you run, in your trainings? Because I know it's cold over here, and I know I see some guys, they run, around campus. Do you guys also do that, even when it's cold?
Yeah, we do run a lot, even when it's cold outside. But of course, if it's insanely cold or super icy, we'll end up going inside or running in the bubble, just kind of doing whatever we can.
So how does the training, how does the training look like? Apart from running, do you guys do anything else? Do you lift, or what else do you do?
Well, we do lift twice a week.
Okay.
Since I'm a mid-distance runner, I do some different lifting than
Okay.
some of the cross-country runners do.
Mm-hmm.
I also go to an additional practice once a week for hurdles, just to
Oh, okay.
get ready for that as well.
Cool. In your...
I definitely feel like some days it's hard when you aren't, always having the best week or day, so perseverance is definitely a big
Yeah.
one.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely being cooperative and being a good teammate
Yeah,
to others.
yeah.
Even though track's you're kind of an individual in your sport, really being there for others.
For
I think
others,
is a
yeah.
big part of it. Yeah, I'd say perseverance is a good one. Motivation.
Yeah. So what are some strengths you think you have
Me, oh gosh.
that helps you kind of, go through the day and,
Well, I think one of my sins of my life in cross country and track and field, I had a health issue
Okay.
that I didn't realize about until this past summer, but I've got it figured out now.
Okay.
It was really hard, but I feel like I pushed through that, and I'm finally able to be where I want to be this season. So it was definitely kind of a moment for me, showing myself, okay, I can be strong mentally and kind of
Yeah.
persevere through this.
Good. I'm really happy you've gone through and come out of that, That's really good to hear. So as I said, last year was a tough season for you, personally. What is one way you think your coach kind of helped you go through that process?
Well, our coach, we have Coach Sarah. She's always really supportive, and she listens to us. She is a coach that I think is really flexible. Like, if we are having issues, she'll adjust to where we need it to be.
Yeah.
And she also is pretty supportive and caring. Even if we aren't doing our best, she's always looking out for us.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, let's take a break off sports. And just so you guys know, Papa John's is doing a large 2-topping pizzas for $7.99, and you can get that with an MSU ID. Now, just a quick break. Okay, so let's take a break off sports. Why exercise science and rehabilitation? Why that major? Why nothing else,
Well, to be honest, I had a lot of interests when I was younger, and I had no idea what I wanted to do. But I just kind of had one of those moments one day where it's like, aha, I know exactly what I want to do. And I was actually at a meet, and I saw someone hyperextend their ankle or their knee, and it was pretty nasty. But I knew, I was like, I want to be the one who helps people with that. Like, they're, like preventing that and also doing rehab so they get back to where they want to be. So I knew I wanted to do something exercise science, but I didn't know what specifically yet at that point.
Do you know what exactly at this point now?
I think so. Last year I did a lot of searching, and I think I pretty much settled on being a chiropractor.
And what's that?
Chiropractor, it's a medical doctor, but it's sort of like an alternative health.
Okay.
They do, I don't know if you've seen those videos where they like adjust people's backs. And
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it's just kind of like a science where you're making sure people are in proper alignment.
And why that? Why not something else?
I was thinking either like physical therapy or that, and I liked how chiropractors have a bigger scope of practice.
Yeah.
And I also think there's a lot of room for specialization. Like, I think I would do a lot of work with muscle, like making sure there's no muscle imbalances in people, and I don't know, just helping people live a pain-free life. That's what I want to do.
Wow. That is a good way to look at it, helping people live a pain-free life. That's very nice. So being an MSU student and also being an athlete, how do you balance your time? How do you, is mornings for sports, evenings for study, how do you do that whole process?
It's definitely not easy. I am kind of a perfectionist in a way. I have my little journal, and I'll plan out
you guys
my
always
day.
the athletes I feel like you guys are the best in arranging your stuff. Like, I go to class and I'm like, how do they do that? Most of them, they have like this. Is that like they always do they tell you guys to like do that? But I know most of you have that little like jotter where you note stuffs.
Yeah, they don't tell us to do that, but I just think we just kind of pick up on it and know it's really helpful. It helps a lot. Cool.
So that helps you kind of manage your time, basically.
Yeah. Then I know what I need to do and when I need to
Yeah,
do
when
it.
you need to do it.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's actually very cool. So looking at your future, are you leaning towards more of running or more of exercise science?
I definitely love running, but I am very passionate about my degree and where it's going to take me. I'm looking into grad schools already, and I'll just be focusing on school there. And I'm even looking into some research opportunities too.
Oh, cool. Is there anything in particular you would like to research about?
I've become pretty interested in women's health, especially in athletes, because I don't think there's a lot of research that's been done about that at this point. Because a lot of times when people do experiments on athletes, it's just on men, not on women.
Yeah.
And I think there needs to be more studies and information out there for women in athletics.
Yeah, I feel like that's very important, and there's not enough people out there doing that, so I feel like there's a market for that. So yeah. So Sidra, so we're almost out of time. Just for the last question, what is one way you keep yourself motivated?
One way? I think the biggest motivation is just doing what I love and I enjoy. I enjoy doing this, so it's not really like I have to do it. It's I get to do it for me.
Oh, that's nice. That, and that also kind of cuts across like the whole perseverance. You actually wanting to do something and enjoying yourself doing it, that would actually make you, go through the whole process without breaking down and giving up. Okay, yeah. Thank you for being here today. We really appreciate you, Sidra, and thank you guys for listening. Do not forget you can get a Papa John's large 2-topping pizza for $7.99 with an MSU ID. Thank you very much and have a good one.
Thank you for tuning in to the Inside the Dam podcast. KMSU is proud to partner with Minot State University Athletics and bring an inside look to student athletes and coaches on campus. Inside the Dam is brought to you by Papa John's. Don't forget to check out their MSU special. You can get a large 2-topping pizza for $7.99 if you show a valid MSU ID. We thank Admir and the Papa John's crew for sponsoring the Inside the Dam podcast. We will be right back with our next guest. Thank you for tuning in to the Inside the Dam podcast. KMSU is proud to partner with Minot State University Athletics and bring an inside look to student athletes and coaches on campus. Inside the Dam is brought to you by Papa John's. Don't forget to check out their MSU special. You can get a large 2-topping pizza for $7.99 if you show a valid MSU ID. We thank Admir and the Papa John's crew for sponsoring the Inside the Dam podcast. We will be right back with our next guest. All right, everyone, and welcome back to the Inside the Dam podcast. I am your third and final host of the night, Cole Clementich. We got some great insight from Leif Nelson and Sidra Sadowsky as they were able to tell a little bit of their story and their background and kind of getting into the track and field season, kind of really getting into it. So lots of fun there. And we just want to remind you guys before we get into our third guest of the night, Papa John's, if you want to find one of the best deals in town, just go driving on Broadway, find Papa John's, and you can get yourself a large 2-topping pizza for $7.99. That is the MSU special. So if you show a valid MSU ID, you can secure yourself with a nice, delicious pizza from Admir and the Papa John's crew. We thank them, as always, for sponsoring the Inside the Dam podcast. As promised, folks, this is the track and field episode of the Inside the Dam podcast, and we have Juan Gutierrez behind the scenes running the camera switches, and want to thank Logan and Paul for helping out as well. But for our third guest here, he is a junior hurdler from Brighton, Colorado. Nathan-Trujillo joins us. Nathan, thank you for being here today.
All right, thank you for having me.
Yes, Nathan. So the hurdles, that's kind of, a little bit of running, but also takes a lot of intense focus. Tell us about this sport that maybe a lot of people don't know about.
No, yeah, I get a lot of that. Anytime I tell people, like, I hurdle, they're like, oh, wow, like, you hurdle, like, you got to run and jump. And, like, they always say, like, oh, if I run, I'm going to, like, fall. Or they're, like, scared to hit the hurdle and stuff. But, I don't know, I've been doing it for a while, so it's kind of like muscle memory at this time. But, like, in the beginning, it was definitely, like, a lot of nerves and, like, just getting over it. And, yeah, just running and just...
And you talk about the nerves, like, those hurdles, like, they had to start out at, I'm just kind of going out on a limb here, they probably had to start out at a certain level in high school, is that correct? Mm-hmm. Did they ever get higher in college, or was that just sort of, is it all natural?
Yeah, so a lot of, like, athletes from going to high school to college, they struggle because the height goes up 3 more inches. So when I stand up, it's like about, like, above my belly button, so they're still really high. So a lot of people from the jump from high school to college, they tend to hit more hurdles in college than they do in high school.
And you bring up a good story. That's got to be, you know, like you said, the fear. You know, talk about that process of, you know, getting your mind right and just going forward. You know, how do you explain, you know, the process of, you know, just getting over the hurdles and, you know, just kind of training for that, really?
I feel like it honestly starts from like the beginning. You kind of got to crash and burn a little bit, get your hands dirty, have a little falls. Like my knees, they have calluses, they have cuts all year because every time I hit a hurdle, they like bruise me and they cut me. So it's all about like the process. But honestly, like the more you fall in practice, and kind of like once you get it out of the way, like, oh, you fall, that's the worst that could happen. Then you just kind of just go out there and compete.
No, good point. Let's focus on less fearing and more good stuff here. So season's getting underway. You guys were at the Yellow Jacket the Yellow Jacket and the Battle in Bears, hosted by MSU Billings. Talk about, I guess, was this indoor, outdoor? Is this the start of the outdoor season now?
Yeah, so this was our first meet to kick off. Like last week, we were supposed to have a meet at Black Hills, but the weather didn't let like got canceled and stuff. But yeah, this week was our first opener, and it was good to finally get it outdoor.
Nice, that's good. I know I was looking a little bit at the schedule, and it's your guys' setup is kind of interesting. So you have a schedule of meets, except those are out or start off indoor in closer to the spring season. And then, you know, once it kind of starts to get a little bit warmer, you guys are outdoors. So, you know, just kind of talk a little bit about how do you guys for 2 seasons, like it's kind of like a mini season and then a mini season after that, or is it kind of, how do you guys, you know, approach this, you know, having all the indoor meets and then NSIC champion and championships, and then immediately you're back after it outdoors? Like, how do you guys, you know, manage that? What's your guys' approach to every season?
Well, like we start off here in August, we start training and really kind of like building like our endurance and stuff. But as hurdlers, when you go indoor, it's only 60 meters because we don't have that much, like there's not big tracks. So it's kind of hard, but we keep training hard for like the 60 hurdles. But then when we go outdoor, it's 110. And then they also have 400 hurdles too. So it's like the training's way different from indoor to turn extra curve.
Awesome. Sweet. So, yeah, talk about your start a little bit here. I mean, you competed in the 400-meter hurdles, you know, got a time of just over 55 seconds. You know, talk about some of those numbers, and it's also a career best time for you. It looks like, you know, talk about some of your starts to the season here. How have you been feeling lately?
This is my first time running 400-meter hurdles in my whole career. In high school, I ran 300 hurdles, so the extra 100 is like definitely way more. It's way more struggle than I've like realized. And it's haven't been too bad. It's just hard to train because here it's a lot colder and stuff. So we don't get like the facilities and stuff that like actually get 400 hurdle training. So, and then yeah, it was my first meet ever running. I was kind of nervous, but I have good coaching and good training, and just let me fall back on the training.
Yeah, you mentioned coaching, the team having gone through Coach Delmonico to now head coach Greg Swift, and of course Sarah Fowler on the staff as well. She's been, you know, a bright addition, I would assume. How have you guys taken in this new kind of approach from the new coach? What has he taught you guys so far?
So hurdles, it's actually like a really good plus for us. Greg Swift, he was actually an Olympian hurdler. So like for me, just having a coach that's been at that top level and actually competed really well at the top elite level, that's something like I've dreamed of myself competing at that level. So like me just trusting him is just honestly just helps me get into meets better. I trust myself because I know that I can get the training from an Olympian and a guy who's been at that top elite level.
No, that's got to be really impressive. I even read the press release. He was a former Olympian. To get someone like him on campus is just a huge bonus. And that's really, like I said, impressive to be able to, attract some people like that. And, how has he helped you guys along the way, in his first, I guess, full season of coaching at Minot State with the cross-country season, and, of course, even with, I don't even know if he helps with that a little bit, but just going through, starting in the indoor season, now you guys are just underway in the outdoor season. How has he helped you guys in the progress for his first season?
It's definitely a big change from the last 2 seasons here, but he's actually trying to build a nice, good culture here, changing the culture of way different from the way it's been back before. And he's trying to get a lot more new people in, and just seeing, like, coming from a high school and you see, like, oh, you have an Olympian coach. He's probably the only Olympian coach in this region for hurdles. So just high school hurdlers seeing, like, where to go to college. They see that there's an Olympian coach. They would more likely choose, like, Minot State because just the coach. So he's getting a lot of, like, new kids coming in and, like, a lot of fast kids. So here in the next couple of years, the whole Minot State track and field is going to be way different.
No, that's a big enticing plot for Minot State to have in their back pocket, and for you guys certainly. And as you guys are just getting underway in the outdoor season, like I mentioned, kind of away from the practicing and all the races, talk about your day-to-day life in the classroom. What do you see on occasion? And tell us a little bit about your major and your course of studies right now.
My day-to-day is very hectic. I go from morning lifts to 9 a.m. class to a little lunch break to another class to I go to the trainers for an hour and then another class, and then I go straight to practice. And then when I get home, that's when I have to do, like, studies. Then I have to shower, then laundry, cook dinner, stuff like that. So that's kind of like a Monday through Friday daily basis. And then the weekend's kind of nice because I get to relax, but that's also time for me to, like, recover, take care of my body, roll out, and go on, like, little jogs to just stretch out my legs and stuff. But yeah, my day-to-day is very hectic. I'm an exercise science major, so my major kind of goes hand in hand with being an athlete because
that's good.
Yeah, like, I learn about, like, nutrition, what's good for athletes, what's not, like, training, like, stretching, like, stuff like that, so I could apply it to my day-to-day in going into being an athlete.
No, that's good. How much do you utilize those studies to be able to take advantage either during a race or even just in practice here?
We, like, talk about, like, nutrition and stuff and how it's a big thing, so I've, like, changed my diet a whole lot from what I used to do to, like, how to help me get more energy and just stuff like that, and just around, like, just, like, stretching and just taking care of the body more just kind of helps me kind of get an edge more.
No, that's very good. And all that being said, wanting to be able to take care of your body, being able to eat healthy and, get some good workouts in there, where do you see yourself with your degree in the future? Where do you see, going down the line, like maybe 5 years or 10 years from now, not trying to look too far into it, but, where do you see yourself? How do you kind of plan that out a little bit?
I don't know. I kind of want to be more like an athletic trainer. So I kind of want to start at, like, in high school level and then kind of work my way up and see any opportunities I could get, and then slowly work and try to see if I could get on, like, an NBA team or, like, a personal trainer for many athletes out there to spread my knowledge and help them out compete the best to their ability.
No, that'll be awesome. Maybe even helping out some Colorado athletes in the future. So, yeah, you being native down there. Well, we're just about out of time here. Anything else you'd like to mention? Do you have any? Do you foresee any expectations with yourself on the races and maybe even in the classroom?
There's always room for improvement in both on and off in the classroom and on the track. So I just hope more improvements keep going.
All right. Well, Nathan, thank you for being here tonight, and we enjoyed your presence and all the good insight that you were able to provide us with the sport of hurdling and even with the track and field team. So, yeah, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and there you have it there, folks. Again, you just heard Nathan-Trujillo, a hurdler, junior from the Minot State track and field team and Brighton, Colorado native. And that is going to do it for us. I just want to thank a couple of quick people, Paul and Logan, for being on the host chair, and Juan in the background doing the camera switching. Juan, if you want to flip the iPad over real quick, I want to be able to showcase what we have in store. Actually, if you want to do it, Juan, it's the MSU Beavers schedule should be the top left. And yeah, so if you guys can see on the live stream, by the way, we did kind of get a few updates here and there, maybe stream freezing a little bit from time to time. So if you are watching there on the YouTube live stream, we do apologize in advance, but hopefully things, I think, should have turned out pretty good on the recording side of things. But there you can see that is the upcoming schedule for Minot State Athletics. Doubleheader softball games. That is, of course, pending weather, because, of course, more blizzard conditions, man. It's always a tough life up here in North Dakota. But that is the schedule for now. We will, of course, they'll announce if games do change, any time conflicting with the weather. So just want to keep that in mind. But for now, be sure or be prepared for a couple softball games here going on inside the bubble this upcoming weekend. So good luck to them, and of course to the Minot State cross country track and field team. Actually, mostly the track and field team this time, as we are currently in the spring. They're getting started with the outdoor season. But again, before we get out of here, folks, want to remind you, Papa John's and their MSU special. You can get a large 2-topping pizza for $7.99 if you show a valid MSU ID. That goes for both students, faculty. You can get yourself some great pizza. We thank Admir and Papa John's of Logan, Paul, and Juan. And thank you to our 3 guests for joining us today on this amazing track and field version of the Inside the Dam podcast. I'm Cole Clementich signing off. You guys have a good rest of your week. We will not be live next week due to the Easter break. So we will see you guys in 2 weeks' time. And as always, take care.